Hello everybody! We are your Sioux County naturalists, Sunday Ford and Sarah Davalar, and we're here to teach you about habitats today. A habitat is a place you live. Where do you live? Probably in a house. Well, animals outdoors don't live in a house. They live in habitats that are outdoors. So here in the forest, where I'm at right now, I am in a huge habitat with lots of trees, with leaves, with dirt, with the air, with birds and deer and turkey. That is a huge habitat. Here in front of me is also a habitat. This habitat is a log. Did you know there are things living under here? No, I don't mean deer and birds and turkey. I mean little things. Little things live under here. So you might ask yourself, what do animals need in a habitat? Well, what do you need in your house? Do you need water? Animals need water too. Do you need food? Yes, animals need food. How about shelter? I hope there aren't big holes in your roof. You have shelter too, don't you? And space would be the last thing you need. You can't fit 50 people in your house. Well, you might be able to fit them, but don't try to live with 50 people in your house. You need space. Okay, so we're going to learn some signs for each one of these. For food, I want you to put your hands on your belly like you're hungry. Everyone do this, please. All right, that is food. That's the sign for food. We're going to do the sign for water next. This is a little harder. Hold your hand up, and I want you to put your pinky and your thumb in. So you just have your 3 fingers. Now put that on your chin. Do you have 3 fingers on your chin? That means water. All animals need water in their habitat. Shelter. Remember the roof we talked about. Make a roof over your head. There's shelter. Animals need shelter too. And the last, do you remember? Space. Don't have 50 people living with you. Just as animals don't have lots and lots of animals living all in one little spot. We're going to give ourselves a great big belly. You need lots of space. All right, let's practice those signs. I'm going to say the word and you do the sign. All right, not in order. Shelter. Good. Food. Excellent. Water. 3 fingers, remember. Space. Okay, do it again without me. Shelter. Good, if you did this, you're right. Food. Good, if you did this. Space. Correct. And water. Yes. Let's look under the log. I'm going to prove to you that animals... Oh, that's a heavy log. Oh, wow. This is really neat. Let's prove to you that animals can find habitat right under this log. So food. Let's see what kind of food I can find. Did you know that this log is actually food? Animals are eating on this log things like snails, ants. Carpenter ants love to eat it. Let me pick this up a little bit. Oh, look here. There's an animal right there. This is a wood roach. He doesn't look very healthy. That's a wood roach right there. He would be food for a spider. There's food right there. Shelter. Do you think that this log is shelter for anything? What did we find? Spider. Very nice. These leaves are awfully wet. What sign do we do for water? 3 fingers on your chin. There's water on these leaves. And space. I don't see too many animals under here crowding each other. They have enough space. I
isopod right there.
Yeah, a roly-poly-oly. There is a spider web, and the spider web is how spiders catch their prey. That's how they catch their food. So they are using this log for their spider webs. Very exciting. I have other animals to introduce you to. And what you're going to do today is you're going to help our animals find their habitat. So let me introduce you. This is Mr. Fox. Mr. Fox is very camouflaged for his habitat. What color do you think he is? If you said brown and white, I agree. Brown and white. And his habitat is brown and white too. Okay. Mr. Fox lives in the ground. He likes to live in a shelter. Let's do that sign, guys. He likes to live in a shelter called a burrow, or a hole in the ground. Mr. Fox likes to eat meat. In the wild, you can find meat by catching animals. So he eats things like rabbits and mice. Mr. Fox needs lots of space so that he can run around and catch his critters that he eats. And he drinks water too. He gets some of his water from the things he eats. We'll put Fox right there. He's so cute. Okay. Oh, I wonder if you know this one. Hi, kids. I'm Mr. Snail. And I am slow. I like to eat plants, especially dead ones. I like to put down slime and move on the slime. I need wet ground. I must not dry out. I live in the dark, underneath of plants. Good night. All right, thank you, Mr. Snail. We'll put Mr. Snail there. Let's do pelican. This is a pelican. Pelicans are birds. Look, it has a beak. See the beak? That makes it a bird. And it uses its beak to catch meat. It loves to eat fish. He likes to fly with his wings, and he swims on the water. All right, so the rest of the video, you're going to help us decide which habitats Mr. Pelican, Snail, and Mr. Fox belong to. Welcome to the prairie. We love the prairie out here at Oak Grove. Our prairie has tons of grass, as you can see behind me. We've got big blue stem grass, we've got little blue stem grass, and we also have some Indian grass. But the prairie is dominated by grasses. So if we're thinking about shelter in here, we don't have the obvious answers, right? If I was an animal and a big storm came, where am I going to hide? Where am I going to seek protection in my shelter? Do you see a spot? Maybe it's not what you can see. Maybe it's underground. When we think of the prairie, most of our animals and the animals that are here, insects included, are going to shelter under the ground. They're going to dig a burrow, or they're going to find a burrow and a channel that they can get in out of the heat or out of the cold. Did you guys see the fox? Right over there, right? Come in, let's look. So our fox here has found his shelter.
right? His shelter is what we call a den. He's dug this den with his own 2 feet. And if we look, you can see he's kicked all of the soil out there. And right down below, we have our den.
All right, so here I am in the forest. And the forest, as you see, has lots of trees and plants. But it's also made up of the forest floor with all of these decomposing leaves that will become part of the dirt. So here we're talking about food and how much food the forest has to offer. I'm leaning against a tree right here. That's a dead snag. That's what they call dead trees that are still standing. And this is full of food. In fact, a few minutes ago, I heard a woodpecker pecking at this tree. It was looking for bugs to eat. That's its food. And you see all of the plants, especially when they were green, these were food for things like deer. There are nuts on the ground from the trees, things like walnuts and acorns. Those are food too. Underneath all the leaf litter are many bugs and earthworms. That's food also. So the forest is full of food. All right, did you find it? There he is, Mr. Snail. And he's eating. He's chomping on this branch. Remember I told you that snails love to eat plants, especially dead ones? This is an excellent place for this snail to eat.
We took you down to the river. This is the Big Sioux River. And can you guess what type of habitat we're going to talk about here? What about water, right? We're talking about water. This river actually is so many things. It's a habitat itself. It has plenty of space. It provides shelter for so many. It also has lots of food in it as well. But we're going to talk about water. All this water is coming downstream, and if you look across the banks and stuff, often you can see all the animal trails that lead right up to the water's edge. Sometimes the animal might go in the water, like a beaver or an otter or even a turtle for that sake, but a lot of the times we just see the trails go down, they take a sip, turn around, and back they go to their normal habitat. Did you guess right? It's our pelican friend. The pelican loves the river. We often see pelicans around the river as they swoop down to find food, get water, or just take a nice leisurely swim. Thank you for joining us on our habitat search today.